So, doing another custom module for Neverwinter Nights 1. This time for a campaign called the Revenant. No one expected you, a lowly alchemist, to return from the grave, and yet you find yourself crawling half decayed from the soft earth of the village graveyard. You have become a Revenant, an undead creature whose only purpose is to hunt down and exact revenge upon its killer. They say that alchemy cannot change a substance into something that it is essentially not. Wood cannot become iron, water cannot become blood, and a man cannot become an orc. As a revenant, can you change yourself into something new, or will your past life dictate what you are now? Yeah, starting level 1, gameplay length 10 to 12 hours. That'll vary based on how well you are familiar with the game and probably your class too. These are not relevant to us. They're telling about the gameplay options with good reason. This game has a lot of special rules that differs from the core game. I'm not sure if I want to go through them. I read through them, so I have a somewhat of a grasp of them. Since we are an alchemist, our chance to play use this portrait for something, so I'll taking it. I want to play a gnome wizard. Not sure how this will work, but I don't see any major problems with it. I want to start as true neutral simply because I don't know much about my past life, so I'm setting out from the point that basically a blank slate more or less, and our choices will determine where we'll end up. I already did this once, but when I actually read through the changed game rules and things like that, I wanted to do this again. The game rewards you extra experience and options from quite a few skills, especially the wisdom, intelligence, charisma, and some spotting skills, things like that. So I was very heavily intelligence focused, which is not bad for a wizard by any means, but I feel that by sacrificing a couple of points from intelligence, we basically gain 6 additional character development points, which would be much better spent somewhere else. Somewhere else being wisdom and charisma, to get those better gameplay options. I think 12 is probably good enough for me though. I want Constitution. Wizards get something like 1 to 4 points every level up, so the extra +2 will basically just guarantee that we have at least a handful of hit points. 1 to 4 can mean it'll probably translate to 3 to 4 because it uses the Neverwinter Night system, which translates to a healthy 5 to 6. So it's fairly high for a wizard, but I think it's worth it. The 10 to 12 gameplay hours also, I think, means we are not going to get access to extremely high level spells, so the lower intelligence probably won't hurt us. There aren't that many interesting class skills we can take. There's like 3, I think. Yeah, that'll leave us 8 points every level to spend somewhere else. And it costs 2 points to raise something besides class skills, so I'm not sure how much conversation skills are used. I want to assume, at least at this point, that they are used. So persuasion and bluff gets a single point. The reason I don't want to put everything in them is that other things could certainly use a little bit of help to take the tumble and probably spot. these type of searching skills, or at least some of the ones that can be rewarding. So I want to have a little bit of skill there. It won't amount to much, but at least there's something. Depending on what the game seems to use, as in what skills it heavily uses heavily, that's probably going to direct where I'm going to spend a lot of our skills. And a huge amount of feats because we are a gnome. Not all that relevant though. I'll take spell, focus, conjuration. Not sure if it's exactly a smart choice, but who cares. And a generalist. So no forbidden schools and magic. Color spray, no, it's an illusion. We have skill focus in illusion. Conjuration, I'm not sure if it's a good choice for enemies to focus on, because spell focus really affects offensive abilities, affecting others, and there aren't that many of them. I think there's a few cloud-like spells like Grease, basically an area of effect. It doesn't attack anyone directly, it creates a certain condition in that area. So that type of spells will benefit from this. But it also means we have to use those, otherwise the goddamn feat was a waste of time. There are certain special rules, but I do want to go quickly through them. But it's better if if I'm in the game. I'll take Pixie simply because they can disarm traps and things like that. I'm not sure if it's necessary, but I'd like to have the ability. Customization. Hmm.
Get on them! Attack, I say!
Wizard good.
Now you shall taste my power! Feel my wrath! This is going to hurt! Now you... Someone get over here! I can't do this alone! Our foe is just over there. Fly, you fools!
Name. From Sven. Yeah, that's probably not a good name to have. Bigo. Bigo Shrew. Yes. There are a few items we have right from the start. This is just the special instructions explained to you. We can choose a deity for ourselves. I'm thinking of taking Flame Blight. Flame Blight is a chaotic evil god. That does not mean I want to play a chaotic evil person, but it's more of a it's basically a god of fire, and that's I guess the affinity I have towards him. Bone of Recall is basically like the Stone of Recall from the first game. Our point of the center is the headstone. This is where, and my grave is where I will be returning to and from. Rune Carved Fingerbone is a resurrection stone, infant uses. This is the smallest finger on your left hand. While the flesh has rotted away from it, you can see that it is tattooed with a series of small golden runes. How or when you did this to yourself is unknown. By touching one of your fallen comrades or henchmen with this finger, you can call back their spirit from the underworld using force of will alone. Unfortunately, it will not leave them much better than dead, making this a poor ability in combat. It's more of a if you want to recover after combat. Alchemist skill pouch. This is basically something that every other level you can choose an alchemical feat. There's three things to choose from. There's offensive abilities, defensive abilities, and transmutation that allows you to, if, for example, if you find a piece of wood, you can turn it into a club, that sort of thing. It does not work on existing items, so an existing sword cannot be transmuted, existing armor cannot be transmuted. You have to find a wood or an ore or something like that. But we'll probably get to know that better when we actually get some alchemical skill. Currently, we have none. We need more level ups. But yeah, the special rules of Revenant combat generally provides no experience points. Instead, characters in Revenant gain experience from completing quests, restoring lost memories, recovering alchemical secrets and artifacts. This allows you to avoid combat that is too difficult with no penalty, and remove some of the warrior class favoritism inherent in the Aurora game engine. Much approved. It basically allows you to play your class like it's sensible to play it instead of being forced to kill everything because that's how you level up. Every quest not available to every character. Certain NPCs will only offer them to characters of certain classes. Some areas are not accessible to every class. Mm, PCs, player characters generate 3 hit points per round. Other healing must be acquired by devouring the bodies of those you kill. So eating, you have natural regeneration, but proper healing is done by devouring the dead. Minimal rest, okay, with the exception of graveyard. Undead can always rest in their graves. You will be informed when an area is safe to rest. Respawning has no penalty. When you die, you return to your grave. However, each player may only respawn 7 times, after which death becomes permanent. More details, see the 7 Deaths of Torkal, a book that may be found in the module. Permanent death is enabled for any area in which the Revenant's soul would be destroyed, entrapped, or unable to reach the underworld. This includes any extraplanar area. Skill use often gives you additional experience points. Search, spot, open lock, disable the device. Listen, and rarely spellcraft. It's not much. High mental stats, intelligence, wisdom, charisma will sometimes open new conversation options. Alignment determines the way that many NPCs react to you. In general, the closer to good you are, the more favorable NPCs will react to you, as one of the Walking Dead. The closer to evil you are, the greater the loathing of you will become. Alignment is also used to measure your character's progress throughout the game, and ultimately to determine your fate at the end of the module. So basically, where you end up in your alignment will determine what kind of outcome you have at the end. Use of some spells, generally those that channel negative energy, is considered evil Revenant and will change the PC's alignment accordingly. So negative energy ray, negative energy burst, innervation, animate dead, and bestow curse. It Get out your reading classes. Revenant relies heavily on the journal and the use of written materials in game to reconstruct your character's memories. So if you're interested in understanding exactly what's going on, you are going to have to read everything available to you. Those story time sessions. And reading normal books will give you a small amount of experience. You have to use them. The romance quest or quests in Revenant key to the key to the gender of the first PC that enters the module. So yeah, this is more of a multiplayer notice on that. Some NPCs simply won't be interested in members of the same or opposite sex. All plot required romances or flirtations, however, are always available. Hmm. Save often, you may not be able to respawn in all areas. Currently, there are 4 deities that the player may choose from. They are, okay, God of Dragons, Virtue and Law, or Dragon, Virtue and Good, Storm, War and Thieves, Nature, and God of Fire. So we chose the God of Fire. Hmm, some explanations about what color coding means in this game. Gold for artifacts, green for potential NPC henchmen, that sort of thing. Every 2 levels you will be offered a chance to remember the use of special alchemical skills. Note that each skill will cost experience points to use, except for transmutation, which will cost you gold and experience. You must select the skill you wish to remember when you level up. If you exit the selection without making a choice, you will not be offered the chance again for 2 levels. So we have to be careful around level ups. Spells have been edited. All summon creature spells have been changed so that they now summon extraplanar creatures like those in the pen and paper version of the game instead of animals. Unless the character has the animal domain part. And it explains some of the changes, what exactly you summon. All elemental summons are earth elementals. The earlier summons are listed here. Good aligned get these, neutral aligned get these. Good aligned seem to get Archons, Asimar, Planetars. Neutrals get Ormians, Finhounds, and different type of Slod. Evil, Imp, Verguile, Hellhound, Black Abishai, Cornigan. Anything else? No. So that's basically it. And I guess we're more or less ready to go. Might as well rest and change our spells. We'll level cantrips, don't give a shit about them. Grease, not a bad thing, but need something else at this point. Common creature 1. And we're ready to go. So, woken up in the graveyard and don't really know what to do.